Basically, marriage is what I advise people when they are going into marriage. I made them to understand that marriage is basically three things. Responsibility. You can't go into marriages without being responsible. Both as a man and as a woman. Both of you have responsibility. Then you must be able to sacrifice. The way you think you are living your life before marriage, it's not the way you will live your life in marriage.
Exactly.
You cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot go out as a man and come in late at night for the woman you kept at home and which you have given instruction not to go out. Èèyàn náà lòun náà nà. Kó jáde kó tó jáde kẹ́ tó pàdé ara yín. So if you want her to stay inside, you have to also stay inside with her to be available. So you have to sacrifice a lot of things in marriages. As a man, you sacrifice your pleasure, you sacrifice your time. As a woman, you also sacrifice maybe part of the type of friend you keep. If your husband says, see, because of so good reason, I don't want you to associate with this type of people. Good reason, underline. You have to abide by it. Then, the third thing is kindness. Both of you just have to be kind to each other. You just have to be kind to each other. You don't, if your husband behaves, you don't think that he's behaving because he wants to hurt you. Don't always think that the behavior of either of you is to hurt or sheka fún ẹni. If you start having that type of thought, ọkọ mi mo sheka, àbí ìyàwó mi mo sheka, that marriage will not last. Even if your husband hurts you, take it that kò mọ̀ ṣe ni. And you must always have good expectations of one another. So if you live with these three principles, I think problems of marriages today, I think we should have less of divorce in young married couples. Like I said, economic pressures are also there. So you live within your limit. It is very, very important today for couples to just live within your limit. Yes, Islam ní ká máa bímọ, Ànábì pọ́n ní ká pọ̀, but àwọn ọmọ tó da tọ́tọ́ l'Ànábì máa fi yangàn. Ànábì ò ní fọmọ ọ̀tá yangàn lọ́jọ́ àlìkìyámọ̀. Àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n tọ́, tí wọ́n gbẹ́kọ̀ọ́, tí wọ́n lè tú àwùjọ ṣe, Islam máa fi yangàn. So tó bá sọ pé wọ́n ní ká máa bímọ jọ, ọmọ tí wọ́n tọ́ lọ́ máa fi yangàn lọ́jọ́ àlìkìyámọ̀ bá Ànábì ṣe sọ láàdísì yẹn. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you have to be able to look at the child, although the destiny of everybody is in the hands of God, but as a human being, you have that responsibility to ensure that am I able to cater for these people, am I able to do so that the economic pressure will not be too much, so that the wife will now be having that notion to go outside, especially for the type of husband that is not providing. Provide. Your wife is now working. You are now saying that they send a mail to your wife. Yeah, well, the wife too must respect the boundary of work ethics. Your time of going to work, to be close as a human being. A good manager should not send a mail to a housewife after close of work. A good manager should not do that. So these are part of good ethics. But any time your wife is working from home, between our normal time of work, manager no, it's within our wife. If you know you cannot allow her to work, you provide for her or you give her alternative. So that is not going extreme in terms of the protective jealousy. We must not go extreme. No, Islam will go fair because Islam fẹ́ social worker can be travel àwùjọ ni, and ọkùnrin nìkan kọ́ ló máa tún àwùjọ ṣe, obìnrin náà máa tún àwùjọ ṣe. So a woman has a role to play. So when you see your wife talking to people outside, whether male or people, you don't quickly assume that she's flirting around. Where you start having problem is when you start having bad notion about your wife, and you shouldn't even have married a spouse that you have a bad notion about. And that is even the first step to marrying each other. You love each other. You have good notion about
blind trust.
Yes, blind trust. It's a blind trust. So this is my own advice about how we can solve this epidemic of Gen Z divorce.
Kairan, we just need to keep, reminding them and also, admonishing them on what to look out for in marriage. It is an epidemic now. It's becoming unbearable. People get married in few weeks, they're out of the marriage. I tell people, if you look out for beauty, it will fade out in no time.
Definitely.
If you look out for you know, our spokenness, oh, she's smart, she could talk, she could this, you know, you could get married, she got worked up with pregnancy and childbirth, everything. The spark you saw before you got married to her might not be there anymore.
I used to say marriage is a black market.
So just have to.
It's a black market because what you think you see or you are seeing, by the time you marry each other, it becomes another thing.
And you will not even see yourself being a factor to the death of those spark. I tell people, a lot of ladies you will have seen then, these people I want to get married to. Seeing them now that they are married to whoever they are married to, I will like, men, I would not have been able to cope
with this
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So whoever you are with, whatever you have now, is a journey that you must learn that it has to get to the end, and it's not a reason why you can do, you know, alternative. I could imagine I was talking to somebody and he was saying he already told the wife he's married to that he actually loved someone before, but he could not get married to that one. So he is marrying you conditionally till when the other one comes back. So he's going to go back to.
So this one is a placeholder.
Yeah, yes. So this one is, you know, we leave the house for the new one to.
So this one is just a placeholder pending. So definitely there's no love between them.
Because you could see that kind of confidence in a right thinking man.
And he's not a right thinking man. Naturally, he's not a right thinking man.
Where you say this to a woman born out of another woman? That look, there's someone somewhere.
So you are just using her as a placeholder. Tí yẹn bá ti gbà, torí kò tí gbà mo ṣe fi ẹ́ síbí o.
No, that one is even trying to come back, and he's now telling the one that is there, like, you need to start thinking about when to leave. And let me know how do you get to this?
Well, it is not a spear for machine.
That is how terrible.
No, that's how terrible. Actually, you can have some distorted thoughts about people. People have a lot of distorted thoughts in Nigeria today. Not actually in Nigeria, in the whole world today. You see some behaviors, you start thinking as a human being that, can somebody think like the way this person just think that? You are telling a human being, a female, that you want to marry to that, or my place or Daniel, my machine, boya engine, bàjẹ́ mo kàn gbogbo, jẹ́ sáré ya battery, or bí boya battery motor weak, you want me jẹ́ sáré ya mi battery motor pending tí ma fi ra èmi. So you know, these are the things. If eventually that other lady didn't come back and he goes ahead to marry that lady, there can't be peace in that house.
They were married. I'm talking about married couples.
They are already married.
Yes.
It's a problem.
So you see, we need to, you know, there's a lot of things that we need to look into and illustrate in some other.
Maybe just to round up, there are a lot of red flags that women sometimes see, that because of love they ignore them. And these are red flags that you see in that person before you even marry them. This happens to a lot of women. It's more on the side of the women than the men. You get it? Because men, they can think that but it's not always good, especially the African culture, that for a woman to get divorced once, twice, no, they start counting it for them. But so a lot of women have to shine their eyes, open up. When you see a red flag, discuss it with somebody, a third party that can give you a dispassionate advice about that thing. But a lot of women, maybe out of age, social pressure, 35 kò tí marry, 32 kò tí marry, eléyìí tí mo wá tẹ́ rí red flag, ọkùnrin mélòó náà ló dá, gbogbo abálélé yìí ò dá, ayọ̀ eléyìí ò dá, mélòó gbogbo wa náà lè perfect, jẹ́ kí n fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, tó bá lọ fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, you continue to marry her there. Anything you see in that marriage is going to be there. Do you understand? So you don't marry those things when you see those obvious red flags. But because he's in love with brother Lagbaja or Mr. Lagbaja, kò fẹ́ lọ sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, tí bá lọ sọ fún Elubai, á sọ fún mi pé kí n má fẹ́ nítorí red flag, so mi ò ní sọ, máa manage it. And by the time you now marry, you cannot manage that thing again. It becomes a problem. So it's either good to have delay in marriage than to go into marriage and get divorced. So that is my closing statement.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.